Hi boys and girls, this video you're going to learn two things. You're going to learn how to find the x and y intercepts, and you're also going to learn how to graph them. Alright, so first of all we got the y-intercept. Now there's 4 lines, and I highlighted the y-intercept because the y-intercept is where the line is going to hit the y-axis. Well, here's the y-axis, so the line intersects right here, right here, right here, and right here. And I wrote a couple of the points. This point where the intersection occurs is 0, 1, 0, -1, 0, -3. Well, that tells you that when the line hits the y-axis, x is always going to be 0. So I wrote that over here to remind myself that. Now, if you remember that x is always going to be 0, and if I give you an equation, it's very easy to find the y-intercept, because all you have to do is take an equation. Let's look at this one step at a time. Here's my original equation, and I want to find the y-intercept. Well, if I remember that x is going to be 0, I could plug a 0 in, which I did right here, and I just go ahead and solve the equation for y. 6 times 0 is 0, minus 2 is -2. 3y equals a -2. Then I divide by 3 on both sides, which equals -2 over 3, or -2/3. Well, you can either say that the y-intercept is -2/3, or you can write the ordered pair. Well, x is 0, y is -2/3, and that's going to be the y-intercept. Same thing happens for x. When you have the x-intercept, now notice right here is where the line crosses the y-axis. So I don't want that one. I want where the line crosses the x-axis, which would be right here and right over here. Well, if you look at what those points are, this point is 1, 2, 3. So, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, yep, 3, 0. And this point is -2, 0. Well, let's look at what those points tell us. 3, 0. Oops, sorry. And -2, 0. What you're going to notice is where the line hits the x-axis, y will always be 0. So if I want to find the x-intercept of this particular equation, all I have to do is make y 0. And then solve for x, which means moving everything over until I have x equals. So 21 is equal to, that cancels out, 3x. I divide by 3, and I'm left with 7 is equal to x. Well, that's my x-intercept, the x-intercept 7, or the point 7, 0. Well, that helps us graph, and I'll show you why. So that's how you find the actual intercepts. Well, all right, let's say I wanted to graph this equation right here. And all I know is the equation. Well, the first thing I want to do, whenever I try to graph something, this is our first rule. Always turn the equation into y equals. And we're going to talk later about what that y equals means. But, so essentially I want to solve this equation for y. So I want to move my 6x over. And it gets me 3y is equal to 18 minus 6x. All right? Next thing, let's divide by 3. But when you divide by 3, you have to remember both things get divided by 3. So y equals, because this cancels out, and then 18 divided by 3 is 6, and -6 divided by 3 is -2x. There's my equation. Now, once you get your equation, we can find both the x and y intercepts. So let's find the x-intercept first. Remember, in the x-intercept, the y is 0. So instead of y equals, we're going to say 0 equals 6 minus 2x, and we're going to solve for x. Subtract 6, subtract 6, bring down my -2x, divide by -2, and I'm left with 3 equals, and then that is x. So my point there would be 3, 0. That's my x-intercept. My y-intercept would be, remember, now we're going to make our x 0. So y equals 6 minus, get this out of the way, 2 times, and now instead of x, 0. Well, -2 times 0 is 0, so 6 minus 0 is just 6. Therefore, y is equal to 6. And our point would be 0, 6. So I have our x-intercept and I have our y-intercept, which makes it very, very easy to graph. Because on the graph, I could just go to 3, 0 and 0, 6, and then using a ruler, which I'm not going to use, but you have to use a ruler, you would draw a line that goes directly through those 2 points. And there's my line of the original equation. So that's how you use the intercepts to graph.